Hello and welcome to Jamie TV, 100% live on YouTube at lunchtime. Thank you very much for joining me. I am streaming via Streamlabs and I am powered by the iRig stream, which you may possibly be able to see just a little bit of in the corner down here. I am sat in the dark, so it's just to give you the best possible picture of the screen with no reflections on it. And I'm using the iRig Pro Duo interface from IK Multimedia also. So today is Star Wars Day, so if you're into that, may the 4th be with you. If you are not into Star Wars, then there may be something wrong with you. I normally like to celebrate Star Wars Day by watching at least one Star Wars film, but that's very difficult for me to do in our house because nobody in my house likes Star Wars apart from me, not even my little boy. So yeah, I'm failing on that front. Anyway, so the point of today is this. The point is to create a track from scratch with no preparation. Now, I see quite a few videos on YouTube where people make tracks supposedly unprepared and totally live, but it does tend to feel a little bit like like the whole thing was kind of, you know, prepared beforehand. That's not the case here. This is going to be warts and all as scrappy as it comes. Now, Cubasis 3 has had an update today. It landed today, so I've downloaded it and I've had just a very little, I've not had time to look up all the features, but I have looked at a couple of them, so I'm going to explore that very quickly first off, and then we'll get into the track making. Samuel says the screen brightness could be turned down a bit, it's overexposed. Okay, Sam, what I'll do, I'll just come out of Cubasis 3 and go to here. I've actually turned it down a whole lot because this, but let me just take it down even further, because the way it looks on the screen to me, I'm very well aware is not the way it looks on the screen to you. I'm just looking at my phone now. Just let me know if that looks any better. It could go down a tiny bit more, but not really very much. So I think it's one of the issues with you know, filming the screen with a phone rather than sharing the screen, but this is just the technology I have available to me at the moment. Okay, that's better. Oh, good, thanks, Sam. All right then, so let's have a quick look at what the updates are. So I'm just gonna, on my second iPad to the left here, which is only just encroaching upon the screen, I'm just gonna shut down the chat a moment and open up the App Store, and quickly run through what's featured in this update. Right, so I'm not going to go into any detail here. I'm just going to tell you the headlines. Cubasis 3 now has MIDI learn, so we can kind of set parameters to be controlled by controllers, presumably. Audio units now have multi-out support. Now that's something I've been pestering for a long time, because it just makes everything so much more professional, and because of the success, I think, of AUM for iOS musicians. I mean, you know, multi-output buses excuse me, tripping over my words, absolutely thrive in that particular setting. And you know, loads of iOS musicians use AUM all the time, so they have all these apps with multi-output buses. It would be nice to use them inside of DAWs, so that's something I'm really excited about checking out. It now has sidechain support, which I know is going to be very well received. That's something that loads of people have been asking for. We've got extended MIDI routing, so let's just have a quick look at that, because that one's perhaps not quite as obvious what that is. Make use of extended MIDI routing options to create inspiring tracks in the snap. Modulate vocals, make them sound robotic. Oh right, okay, I see. So we can use MIDI to change parameters of things as we go along. And the last thing listed is improvements. So presumably that's bug fixes and stuff like that. So let me just close that out and get rid of that white bar at the side of your screen. Go back to the chat. Okay. Hello, Grant. Thank you very much for joining us. Right, so like I said, I've had just a very, very quick look because I downloaded the update this morning and I had to do the school run, and then I've done a couple of guitar lessons, so I've had no time to look at it. So let's, if I go to setup, I do know where this is. MIDI Learn is here in the MIDI section of setup, and I've switched it on, although I haven't done anything with it yet. I've not experimented with it, but I do know that if you press learn, you get things highlighted. So presumably they are the parameters within Cubasis 3 that you could set to be worked from a controller. We've got some options here. Exit MIDI Learn, reset MIDI Learn, selected track mode, and I noticed that they've already set up certain controllers parameters for you, so you can select some presets or something that's already done for you. So that's all really cool, and there's an option here to set up your own preset, which is what I'll be doing because I don't have any of those controllers. So I'll take learn off, and I guess I can deactivate that because I'm not using that at the moment. What else was there? There was multi-output buses. So let's go to, we'll add a track. I'll add a MIDI track. Hey Jade, thank you for being here. Happy Star Wars Day. Now then, can you see my Stormtrooper, by the way? It's very dark in here, but I think you can probably just make out my little Stormtrooper. That's actually a Bluetooth speaker that my missus bought me and it's really awesome. It's just this tiny little Stormtrooper head, and if I connect my phone to it when I'm listening to Spotify or Bandcamp or whatever, it sounds incredible. It's brilliant. And with you, Jade, and with you. I've really been enjoying your streams recently, Jade. I rarely get to see them live because of the time. It's very inconvenient for me. But how dare you? But I usually watch most of them later. However, recently I've managed to catch a couple live, which is it's a better experience catching it live, isn't it? But yeah. The Helium one and the Pure Piano one were particularly good, so thank you for those. I've picked up Helium, and I'm gonna see if I can get Pure Piano later today. Anyway, we digress. So let's go. If I select an audio unit, let's select one that has multi-output buses and see what happens. I'm thinking Ruse Maker. And if I just go right, so there's a Ruse Maker, regular Ruse Maker listed here, and then multi-output version listed here, which is what happens in AUM. You have to select which one you want. So I'll select the multi-out one, and that one you can tell it's that one because it has a little green light on it here for multi-out. Right, okay, this looks different. I think let's go right. So Ruse Maker has 8 output buses, and here I've got an option to add 7 tracks, so let's just press it. Right, okay, so there we are. So I'm not going to use this right now because we're here to do something else today that I want to crack on with, but look at that. I can have one instance of Ruse Maker but have all these drums going out on separate channels. That is wonderful. That makes me extremely happy. I do wish that Steinberg would implement some kind of tempo track, and I really wish that they'd make it so that I can export my audio, like one single audio track, as mono, because when I do little bass sessions for people, they want to receive a mono track, and that means that I can't export my session purely from Cubasis. I have to export it and then pop it into a different bit of software to make it mono, which is doable. But really, like, come on, we should be able to do that. So, oh, Doug's here. Well, happy Star Wars Day, Doug. I don't know if you're into Star Wars, but like I said earlier, if you're not into Star Wars, there's definitely something wrong with you. Now, I'm going to delete these off. We've had a quick look. That'll do us for now. What was the other thing? There's side chain. I caught like a minute of a video earlier from Steinberg, and I think I would need to go to let's go, yeah, okay. So if I was to go to no, I can't remember what he did. I can't remember what he did at all. Where is it? Yeah, okay, I'll tell you what. Let me just have a fiddle around. Maybe I can find it. No, I don't want that. Do I want that? I'm not really sure. If anybody knows in the chat, just tell me, because I'm just floundering a little. How to get to the thingy. Maybe I'll come back to it when it occurs to me, because I'm sure I do know. Or maybe just a little thrown because I'm live streaming and trying to do it on the fly. Yeah, I'm going to come back to that. I don't want to waste your time. So there's the side chaining, and there's also the increased MIDI controllability, right? So I'm going to leave the updates for there, but what I'm going to do is, as I go along developing this track, I will most definitely be using all of the new functions so I can demonstrate them to you. All right, now what I'm going to do today is I wanted to make a track completely from scratch. I do have a track. I do have what it is. It's an old song that I wrote absolutely beards ago and forgot about, and I found like this scrappy bit of paper with the words on the other day. So I thought, right, I'm not going to look at it. I'm not going to take it any further. Because I want this to be proper, genuine, totally raw. So I am going to grab an acoustic, because I'm going to go proper old school on this, because I'm old. So I'm going to sort of throw down like a rough, scrappy demo. All I've got is like verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then it runs out. I've only got rough chords. Now, when I first did this song, sorry about that, something went slightly strange there with my interface. It had a little moment. I think everything's back on now. So yeah, when I first did this song, I did it kind of as a slow ballady type thing, and that's probably why I didn't take it any further, because I don't really do love songy type things, because I don't really have the voice to carry something like that. So I was kind of messing around with it, and then I kind of played it in a different way. So let me just grab this guitar. Right. Sounds more or less in tune, and that'll do for what we're doing. Jade says to activate the sidechain, add an effect, and then it's along the top of the view first in line. Right, okay. I'll try and remember to have a look at that in a bit. Thank you very much for that, Jade. I was just sort of fumbling there, and actually now you say that, it makes total sense. I'm live streaming, so you know what it's like. Sometimes in the moment you just can't think of what it is you're trying to find. Right, so I've got my acoustic. My acoustic is not plugged into my interface. I'm just going to use the microphone that I'm talking to you on just to get a scrappy version of this song down. Now, when I first did this song, it kind of went like this. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Right, and that's probably why I didn't take it any further, because I don't do those kind of slow, miserable love songs. I just can't carry them off. But then I kind of, when I picked this up, I just was sort of jamming through the chords, and I started playing it like this. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. So what I need to do is to find a tempo for this, which I tried to do earlier on, but ran out of time. So I was at 125 BPM. Let's just put the let's just put the metronome on, and let's see what it's like at that. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. Now I feel kind of comfortable at that. Let's just sort of take it up a little more. This is something about Cubasis 3 that I don't like. I would like to just, have a little bit easier control over the tempo. You can use plus and minus, but it takes it up by one degree, which is, takes forever, man. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. I think that feels a little better. I think I'm happy at that speed. Now I'm just going to go to my setup and go to metronome and turn the volume of it up a bit. Now I don't want to have it so loud that it's going to end up being really obvious on this rough recording. So what's Jade saying? My show on LRC7, which I haven't watched yet, turned into a car crash yesterday due to its idiotic multiple touches. Oh right. Oh, well, I did plan to watch that one later. So Doug said it didn't. At least they fixed. Right, okay. What's Samuel saying? The bug that still makes the AV3 window cover the transport bar when bringing up the keyboard is still there. Yes, it is, Samuel. Yes. I already noticed that. Yeah. But, like, they're getting there. They are making improvements, at least. Excuse me while I just have a sip of coffee. Yeah, I mean, they are making some improvements, at least, which is more than you could say for some apps that desperately need some improvements. So, let's have a little play and see what this metronome volume's like now, and then I'm going to have a go at recording this. Da, 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 la, da, da, da. Yeah, I think I can work with that. So what I'm going to do now is I am just going to use the microphone that I'm speaking to you on to put down a rough recording of this. Now, it's probably going to be very pitchy and sloppy, and I don't have a guitar part. I just have some chords, and I'm sort of hitting them in a sort of a style because I'm trying to kind of get a feel for the the song, right? So let's just throw this down. I can't actually see my words. It's too dark in here. This is a bit of a oversight on the stupid hippies' part. Let's just see if I can just angle this a bit better. This stuff that you can't see, that's totally out of shot. Because today I wanted to focus on Cubasis 3. So let's so I got the camera like just onto the iPad screen. Right, so arm record, and we'll have a go at doing this tune. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. But I have no doubts, you're the one for me. The only thing I know is we were meant to be. When things get rough, count on me. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us will last forever. Through troubled times, we'll stand up tall. No matter what they do, we'll beat them all. Through troubled times, when things go wrong, and we swear and cuss, and just when we've had enough, we go from bad to worse. La 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 da da. I can't see my words. Da 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 da. So don't lose hope. When things get tough, count on me. When things get rough, there's only one place to be. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us will last forever. Through troubled times, we'll stand up tall. No matter what they do, we'll beat them all. Through troubled times. Okay, well, that is all I have. Now, while I was doing that, I was looking at my interface, and it looked like it was peaking. So I'm just going to give it a quick play just to make sure that it's not too distorted or anything. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. And then when my voice gets a bit into the chorus, maybe. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us. Okay, it's not peaking horribly. It's not terribly distorted or anything. It's just a bit pitchy, but but I can live with that. Now, okay, so the way this goes, right, is this is a song what I wrote, and I don't claim to be the best songwriter or the best singer in the universe, but I like it. So if you if you dislike it, you are very welcome to say so in the chat. And if I make mistakes, hit bad notes or whatever, you can thoroughly have a good laugh at me, and that will not upset me whatsoever. I'm a little bit what's the word? Well, I'm broad-shouldered. I've been doing the music thing for long enough to become broad-shouldered, and if you're not extremely broad-shouldered, don't do music, really. Okay, so what we're saying in the chat there, we're talking about Cubasis 3. Everything is becoming way too complicated for old hippies like me and Jamie. I like you, Doug, because you're the only YouTuber who does the iOS thing who's actually older than me. So, yeah, they're all like young pups. Dean's younger than me, and Dean was moaning about being old in his stream the other day. Okay, right, so I'm going to crack on. Now, I've got a rough recording of the tune until the point where it runs out. Now, back in the day when we used to use, like, bricks and mortar studios all the time, I used to go in with a band, and usually the producer would get us to lay down a rough version of the song to a click so that it was in time, and then use it as a guide. And then we'd kind of go back in and replace all the instrument and improve parts and make changes and stuff. And I'm trying to work like that. Something that happens more and more as I go along is I try to work in a more old school way using modern technology. So what I'm not going to be doing is opening up any AUV3s anytime soon. What I'm going to do is concentrate on getting the parts together. So I think what I need to do is get some kind of a groove going on. I think I should get myself a drum track going. So see you later, Doug. Thanks for joining us, mate. It's always an absolute honour. Before you go, can you tell us what you're streaming later? Now, so I want a MIDI track. Now, drums are red. The first thing I do when I start a drum track is I make it red. No, I don't, because I've got that highlighted. I make this mistake like all the time. I've even done a video on not to make this mistake, and I still do it myself. Right, so I have to make sure that the track is highlighted first, and that no parts on other things are highlighted, and then I can change it to red. Okay, so drums are red, and I'm constantly nagging Steinberg to give us white, because pianos are white. Oh, the Swan strings thing. Oh, fantastic. That's great. I've got the strings. I've not got any of the other Swan things, but I've got the strings, and I love them. So I'll look forward to that, Doug. Excellent. I'll see you later. Right. So I need some drums. So let's go and get some drums. I'm just going to use some internal Cubasis instruments for a while just to get parts together, and we want some drums. So let's find a little picture of a drum. There we go. AM rock kit, maybe. It'll do us for now. Now, I don't know what kind of a style I'm going to end up doing this song in, because I don't have like a preferred kind of music to make. I listen to everything, and I'm not precious about what kind of music I make. I don't have a preconceived idea ever of how things should turn out. I never sit down to try to write a dance track or try to write a rock track. It's just what happens. So if this becomes, some kind of totally electronic track, that's cool. It might become heavily guitar based. It could be an acoustic track. Who knows? So I'm going to just sort out my doodads here. All right. And I'm going to give myself a snap to bar, shall we? We'll snap to bar, and let's just make one bar of music. Maybe if I just go like that there on the first bar of acoustic guitar. What's it sound like? Is it in time? Sounds like it should be. And then I'm just gonna go here. Right, now the thing I like about this split screen situation is that I can see where I hit a chord, and I can put a MIDI note in line with that chord. So let's just find where the drums are on here. Alright, so we've got a kick, press draw, and then I'm going to put loop on. There we go. You might notice I'm a little bit slow with the controls in Cubasis. I've not used Cubasis for a little while because I've been exploring Audio Evolution and getting used to the controls in that. And it's well worth checking that app out. It has a lot of well, there's a lot of value for money because it's very, very cheap. It has a lot of potential. It handles audio great. And the piano roll's not bad too. So, but anyway, we're talking about Cubasis 3 today. But you know, if this goes okay, right? If this isn't too terrible, this little series of videos where I'm going to make this track live, then I may repeat the process with Audio Evolution later on, because I think I want to get more people looking at it. I think it's worth it. Right, so let's have a. Right, so let's see. Maybe like a. Oh, I pressed that by accident actually. It was in the right place, but it was wrong. Maybe a stick click. Maybe. What about a stick click? Right, maybe put a hat in. Oh, that's not a hat. There we go. And maybe try an open hat there. Say over the stick. Hang on a minute, let me just make this bigger. Right. Let's just try something. That's not good. Okay, so well, it fits the rhythm. I'm going to copy that and I'm going to paste that across here, and let's just put a few in. If I copy them all, they're both highlighted, and paste that and extend the loop, and then since we fell in love. Right, okay, so maybe an extra kick in here. Yeah, I think that works. Tell me what you think in the chat. Does that suck? Get involved, and if it sucks, tell me. Like I say, I will not be offended. Let me just select it. I don't need to do that in this software. Copy that. Let's paste that one across. I think I'm not looking for the ultimate drum part right now. What I'm looking for is the kind of groove that works. Something that fits with this guitar part. Since we fell in, right, and then here we're gonna have, just copy this across, and then let's delete some of this off, and we'll go, oh, right, and what's that all about? Okay, I want to select these, maybe change this for a crash. Yeah, a crash. Okay, So since we fell in love. Okay, that comes back in a bit late, but it doesn't matter. It's just the rough guide. So what I might do is just, because obviously whilst I'm live streaming creating a track, there are certain details of things that might be a little bit, you know, slow and boring to watch in the stream. So way I may approach this is to kind of get the basis for the drum part together, and then I may, before I do the next episode, just kind of, you know, add a few little bits in, make a few little changes and tart it up so that it's not too tedious to watch. What I will do right now is I'm going to select these three parts here, and I'm going to copy them across. I think let's glue them together and then copy, shift that over here. I think we're going to need a groove change when we get to the pre-chorus. Oops, take loop off. Things have been tough ever since we met. We've had it rough. Right, so I'm going to need that. Okay. If I just put my coffee down. Right, if I just press split just here, and copy these two, pop that over here. We've had it rough, but I have no doubt. I think I'm going to keep that stop there. I wasn't sure about it when I was doing it, but I think I'm going to keep the stop. And maybe I've put too many stops in it, but you know, like, we'll see. I kind of like that one there. I'm going to select all of this, glue all this together, copy that, put that across here, go back above. But I have no doubts, you're the one for me. The only thing I know is we were meant to be. When things get rough, right, okay, so there we don't want to stop. So I'll just copy one more bar and paste that there. Alright, that's going to want some kind of a fill in there, to be addressed a little bit later on, and maybe here we might want a bit of a groove change. When things get rough, count on me. When things get... I think the groove is the same, but it would be nice to hear a change, so I may go to ride there, I think. Yeah, I think we might just replace the hats with a ride, just for a feel change. I kind of feel like the sound wants to sort of open up there a little bit. I'm hearing maybe an organ part there coming, perhaps, just like a sort of a held chord for the first two chords of the pre-chorus. That's kind of the first musical thing that's popped into my head as a definite sort of idea of what I want. Okay, so what I'll do then is I will copy this and paste that across, and then I will go in and change this one. So just make this a bit smaller. So right, okay. I'm going to go with that. So these are the closed hats, and they're going to become rides. And then I want to put the bell on where I've got the open hats. See what that sounds like. When things get rough, count on me. When things... I'm not hearing them very well. Okay, I like how that sounds. Let's copy that across. And when things get rough, count on me. I think I want to go back to the hat part there. I think that could be okay, right? Let's try it. When things get rough, count on me. Yeah, right, okay, and then we'll I always forget in Cubasis, you have to press select before you can select multiple things. And the select thing, I'm never really sure about. Sometimes to me it feels terribly clumsy, and other times it works just fine for me. I'm not really sure what that's about. It might just be me. I don't think I've heard anyone else complain about the multi-select tool, so maybe that is just me. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Right, okay, now that's that part there. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. I think I'll leave the riding on that part, and I will, again at a later point, add in a bit of a fill. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through troubled times. Right, okay. I have an idea. I think what I'm going to do is, I feel that the rhythm of the chorus is very much like the rhythm of the verse, but I need a change in it. I think it might be nice to go back to the hi-hat, having had the ride in the pre-chorus. So maybe what I'll do is keep the verse, but keep the verse drums, but maybe just change that side stick sound. A little Cubasis point. If you're doing this and you're not sure why your MIDI is not opening up, it's probably because you've got select pressed in. I'm not sure why that needs to be a thing, but that's the problem. Right, let's change the stick sound to a snare. See what that sounds like. Through troubled times, we stand together. Whatever. I'm wondering if that could cope with more snare. Through troubled times, we stand. I'm wondering if a snare like there might be good. No, not there. Not there. Through troubled times. What am I hearing? Through troubled times. No, I don't know if that's what I wanted to do now. Through troubled times, we stand to. Through troubled times, we stand. That sounds dreadful. Through troubled times, we stand. I think that's what I was hearing. Through troubled times, we stand to. Through troubled times, we stand. I'm not sure if that might be a little bit much for the song, but through troubled times, I kind of like it. Through troubled times, we stand. Through troubled times, we stand to. wonder. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. I really like those hats opening up over the snare. I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna use that for now. You know, I might decide along the way that it's not what I want, but I think it's kind of through troubled times we'll stand together. I think I'm happy with that for now, at least. And you know what? I can always change it later. And the thing I've found with drums as well is when you kind of, because I don't like to try and define exactly what anything's going to be early on. You will have seen that what I do when I'm doing this kind of thing is I don't try to get sounds for things early on. I think that's upside down. I try and sort of use the internal instruments for a little while, get some parts arranged. The sounds can come later when we know what the song's going to be like and what kinds of sounds it needs. So at the moment, you know, it's a sketchy drum part to see how things sit, and I can live with it for a while. Whatever they throw at us will last forever. Right, so I'm going to need, we could maybe glue those together. Select that, copy that, paste it across, and then let's find where that needs to drop out. We'll stand up tall, no matter what they do, we'll beat them all through troubled times. Right, so the stop is just there. Just here, I believe. Something I do all the time, which is a bit lazy, is when I'm editing like this, when I'm editing in a MIDI part, what you're supposed to do when you're navigating around is go back to select, and then you can move around. Without making a noise, although I did make a noise then, which was not what I expected. But the idea is that you're safe from drawing any parts in accidentally, and I all the time just can't be bothered to press select, and I move around with draw still activated. So so don't do that. Maybe a different kind of a cymbal sound for here, maybe, you know, just that one. Yeah. Now, when you are in the MIDI editor in Cubasis, often when a note is selected, you can simply drag it to where you want it to be, and it just did it then, as I was giving you an example of a time when it's not going to work. If it doesn't work, you can use these little buttons at the side. So if I press this one that's like an arrow up and down, it's going to only move up and down. I can't move it to either side. And similarly for the left and right, etc, etc. Right. So there we've got no matter what they do, we'll beat them all through troubled times when things go. Now that doesn't work there. That I've kind of got two stops. What are we going to do about that? Through troubled times when things go wrong. Or does it work? So I'm stopping. Through troubled times. One bar. When stop. Things go wrong. Through trouble. Does through troubled times need a stop? Through troubled times when things go wrong. Maybe I could have something happen like whatever instruments I'm using for this. Let's say if I go with, like, you know, drums, bass, guitar, piano or something. If that's what's the body of the song up to this stop. Through troubled times when things go wrong. Maybe I could have some kind of a sound, a new sound, maybe something a little bit sort of like a synthy effect sort of a thing, just a pad in the background that will fill out as from here. So coming in like so let me just, right, if I split and split, and then there, if I mute that part out there, right, so see if I can show you what I mean. So it would go through troubled times. Sound effect comes in the background when things go wrong. That, if I just drag that in a bit to take snap to grid off there, and then through troubled times, sound comes in, vocal, when things go wrong, everything back in. It's an idea. I've no idea what kind of a sound. Maybe some kind of a stringy sort of a, or you know, or if we're going a more electronic direction, maybe some kind of a riser, and bang everything back in at bar 49. Where did I start this track? I've just had this awful feeling. I started this track at bar 3. What an absolute knobhead. What a stupid hippie. The song has no introduction. Since we fell in love. I've got 3 bars there where all I'm doing is I'm playing the chord just to give myself the key so that hopefully I'm not too pitchy when I come in singing. I've no idea what I'm going to do for an introduction for this song, and I really should have started later on. And you know what I always do? I always start a project no earlier than bar 10, because it was like the first thing I was taught when I was learning how to use recording studio was, because the recording studio was hooked up with an Atari ST, and we had like, you know, old Cubasis on it, and the producer Trevor, fantastic guy, said never start any earlier than bar 10. You may think of something that you want to happen before your first bar, and if you started at bar 1, that's going to become very, very difficult to implement. So why did I ignore Trevor's advice? What an absolute total and utter loser hippie, honestly. Right, so let's select everything while we still can, or while we still can do it reasonably easy, and shift everything along. Now, I started to struggle with a bug in Cubasis quite recently, where when you selected everything and shifted it along, it was not snapping to where it should snap to, and that seems to have done it okay. So maybe that's something that they've fixed. Another thing about Cubasis is I am working in iOS 13 point some or other. I forgot what exact number. And Lars at Steinberg has told me that that, you know, this really is optimized for 14, and I was gonna update to 14 recently, because there's quite a few apps I've got now where people have told me you really need to be on 14, and Audio Evolution actually being one of them, and I was going to do it, and then people started complaining about the new update and difficulties with interfaces and dropouts and noises and stuff. So I haven't done it still, and I'm gonna reach the point where, although I'm not utterly convinced that this iPad can take it, because this is only 2017 5th gen basic iPad, so I'm not convinced that it's a good move anyway. God, I do worry about these iOS update things. Right, so now let's see. Now where we come back in is going to be when things go wrong, bar 57, and that needs to be that needs to have where are we? Probably since we fell in love. Right, so it's going to be from that bar there, and I'm just going to copy the exact same drum part over for now. So that's right there, that's what we need. Copy that, We are snapping to bar again, so was it there? Was it that one? Wrong. Yes. So select drum track, paste there. When things go wrong and we swear and cuss, just when we've had enough, we go from bad to worse. Da la la da da. I can't see my words. Well, it is really dark in here. Okay, so now I've got some drums, and I'm not sure that's the final drum part, but you know, it seems to be working. I'm happy with it for now. So let's have a look at what would happen keyboard wise. Obviously, I've still yet to decide what happens after that second chorus there. Through troubled times. Maybe some kind of instrumental section comes in there. I don't have any other words or any inspiration for any other words to put kind of like a middle bit in vocally, and because I'm not the world's greatest singer, I actually do try when writing songs to not add too many extra vocal sections in, so I don't need too many takes to try and get my vocals right, and that's why a lot of my songs are very short, possibly. So you know, maybe an instrumental section, maybe a bit of a guitar solo or something like that if we go that way. But for now, I'm not too concerned about that. I'm thinking if I start getting into the chords and maybe starting to arrange things, then I'll have an idea, because ideas are good. So I'm going to add another track here, and I'm thinking I'm just going to use a little piano for now, and just kind of get the chords, you know, like I think the chords are pretty simple in this song, so I don't think I'm going to have a difficulty finding them too badly on the piano. See, pianos are white and I can't make it white. I mean, come on, Steinberg, give me white. So you know, this bothers me. I know that's probably really pathetic, but pianos are not that colour. Anyway, see, guitars are blue, drums are red, pianos are white, bass is purple, vocals are pink, acoustic instruments are sort of browny colours, and strings and synths are green. You know, and that's how when I'm working on a project, I go straight to what I'm looking for, because I just see the colour. Right, so I'm going to go with that, although I don't like it. I didn't label this. Let me just label this. Let's just put drums. So that makes me happy. Labeling and colours. And then I'm going to try... I'm just going to use a basic piano from inside here. Let's just kind of maybe grab a classic electric piano, maybe electric piano would be cool on this song, and arm that track. There we go. Right, so what we got then? We've got let's have a jam along, find the chords. Through troubled times, from the start, maybe. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Right, okay, I'm going to go to my mixing desk and bring these things down slightly so I can... Oh, no, I can't bring that one down slightly because I'm talking to you on that one. I should have copied that across. Right, so let's just... we'll duplicate that track, and then... No, I'm doing this the opposite way around of how I wanted to. So that's my guide, and this is what I'm speaking to you on. My guide, I'm going to just make a different colour for now, and I think I'll move that down to the bottom and yes, that works for me. Okay, so now I can mix that down a bit. There. Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Ever since we met, we've had it rough. But I have no doubts, you're the one for me. The only thing I know is we were meant to be. When things get rough, count on me. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us. Okay, right, I found my chords. They're all simple chords, so no excuse for me being too terrible, I guess. Right now, I don't really know how the feel of this is going to go, so let's just have a little kind of... Since we fell in love, things have been tough. Okay, now I'm kind of struggling, because if I got myself an organ part, an organ sound going, it might sound quite nice if I just held the chord. But I'm thinking with this drum part, press the right button, Jamie. With this drum part, with that feel, I could maybe play my bass guitar on this and get a really kind of a nice sort of a really nice groove going on here. I mean, it's not a slow track. It could be quite a mover. So I'm kind of, if the bass is going to be kind of a sort of a bit of a staccato moving around kind of a groove, do I really want an organ part kind of, you know, block chord thing on that verse? I'm not so sure I do. So maybe perhaps some strings could be playing a block chord in a higher range, more sort of out of the way. That could work. I think if the piano is in here, it kind of wants to be funky, but it maybe wants to fit around the bass part, and I don't know what that's going to be yet, so I may now leave piano. Maybe just, I did have the idea for the organ part with the solid block chords for the bridge, and I still like that idea, so I'm going to do that now. While I have an idea that I still like the sound of, I'm going to put that down. So let's do the let's find an organ sound, something let's see, why am, oh yeah, soloed that, didn't I? Stupid hippie. There we go. Right, so that would be, I don't think it wants to be, yeah, it don't want to be any lower frequency than that. What's it like if it's higher? That's two, that's where my voice is. So maybe round about that sort of frequency. And dirty rock sound, anybody think that's like gonna suck, or what do we think? Dirty rock? You know, I've been motoring along here doing my thing, and I just looked at my other screen. Now I've got the stream on, so I can monitor it and see that everything looks okay on there, and that the and I can check the chat, and it stopped playing. This old iPad, honestly, this is an old iPad Air I use for this, and honestly, it's like it's clinging on for dear life. This one, not sure why that happened. Anyway, right. So, tell me what you think about the sounds as I go along. Right, just I would like to hear what you think. So I've got that bridge is a C, then a G, back to A. Right, okay, so where's the bridge? It looks like that's it there. When things get rough, count on me. When is we were meant to be. When things... Right then, okay. So I'm gonna just put this down live. Now, when I do things like when I make a track that's all kind of real instrument type thing, if it's going to be like bass, guitar, more guitars, and vocals and stuff, that kind of a track, what I'll do is when I put a keyboard part down, I'm not the greatest keyboard player in the world. But I will try to put it down live and not go in and perfect it with quantization, because not that there's anything wrong with using quantize. If I'm making an electronic style track, I will quantize everything. But when you're using guitars and bass and stuff, a little leeway makes the track sound better. When people perfectly time drums, bass and guitars, they spoil the human quality of it. When you play a chord, right, you don't play a guitar chord in time, because it takes time from striking the first string to striking the last string, right? So where do you put it when you time it? How do you do that, right? You go with the human feel, and then what you do, I think, is you just use a little bit of like ear to taste, like say something does sound slightly out of time, then by all means go in and move it, but don't look at the bars, don't look at these lines and take them as gospel, because you will spoil your music. But that's my opinion. You don't have to listen to me. I'm a stupid old hippie, what do I know? So from here, so from there I want these chords. What was it? C, G, A minor. Maybe the A minor will go back to the other field, but for now I'm going to put the chord in. So how have I got this set? It wants to be right. So if you're using Cubasis and you're going to record something, you can set it so that it will give you a bar pre-count or no count at all, and obviously you can have your metronome on if you need it, but I've got drums now, so I don't want a metronome. And your recording mode, you've got punch in and punch out and pre-roll. If anyone wants to know about that stuff, then shout up and I can include that in what I'm doing at some point and demonstrate it. I don't think I want pre-count really. I mean, I've got drums here, I know what I'm doing, so let's just see. When things get rough, count on me. When things get tough, there's only one. I forgot what chord came next. Let's just have a quick listen to that. When things get rough, count on me. When things get tough, there's only... Right, now you can see, I think you'll probably see if I zoom in enough on the screen there, see, look, see how these notes are slightly before the bar here. They don't all finish at the same time. because I'm a human being and that's how I played it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it like that because it's not dreadfully far out or anything. I'm going to leave it like that, and then when I put other instruments down later, if it turns out that it doesn't work like that, or if I go down the route of making it an electronic track, which I'm not feeling, I don't think that's the way this is going to go, then I can always quantize or do some correction on it then. So yes, that chord, I forgot what the chord was. Right, so what is the chord? It's going to be an E7. Right. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. That might sound better if I shifted it. If I shifted it up a little. I don't know. Maybe there. See what it sounds like. Easy to change later. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through trouble. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through. Yeah, I like that. I like how that goes up. I think it needs that. It needs a lift there because it's going into the chorus. I accidentally moved that then instead of... In fact, I'll tell you what I'll do here is I'm just going to press select both parts, and let's glue them together. So now they're just included in the same MIDI part. Sorry. When things get tough, there's only one place to be. Through trouble. Right, okay. So I think it might be nice to have the organ. Right, here's an idea. What about if I put down a funky bass part, a groovy bass part, as a next step? I'm not going to do this in the stream. I'm going to end the stream shortly because I don't want these little episodes to go on for too long. I'm going to do this again tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'm thinking that maybe a groovy bass part for the verse with some piano kind of, you know, just like little staccato kind of bits of chords, and maybe in the bridge, in the pre-chorus, it might work well if the piano then backed off and the organ takes over, and then in the chorus have both for a fuller sound. Maybe, you know, I think that's what I'm going to try for. So I've got my organ for the pre-chorus there. Let's just see what about the chorus. The chorus is, we've taken the chord a bit higher frequency now. So what about what was it? F C G. F C G. I think I can play an F C G. What if I went there? Yeah, like that. That sort of frequency. So F, C. Forgot how to play G. F, C, and G. Okay. Well, let's try that. See what that sounds like. Place to be. Through troubled times, stand together. Whatever they throw at us will last forever. Through troubled times, we'll stand up. may sound a little bit basic doing the block chord thing, but I'm thinking of this instrument as a filler. And I think once I'm using a tremendous sounding AUV3 organ, I think you'll hear it in a different light. I'm just going to put this part down, then I'm going to start to wrap up for today. So let me just go back a little bit. There's only one place to be. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us. That was pants. Let's just delete that one off. And try that again, I think. There's only one place to be. Through troubled times, we'll stand together. Whatever they throw at us will last forever. Through troubled times, we'll stand up tall. No matter what they do, we'll beat them all. Through troubled times. Right, okay. When things go wrong. Oops. Right, okay. So, I'm happy with what I've got for now. I think I'm pretty satisfied with what I've got for now. So what I need to do then, before next stream tomorrow, is maybe I'll just have a little tinker around with the bass, see what might work groove wise, and once I've got that down, then I think I'll be able to have a look at putting some piano in, and I need to be thinking about what I'm going to do for this gap here. When things go wrong, and I need to sort of be mindful of the fact that the song runs out after the second chorus and I need something to happen there. Okay, so for those of you who have watched today, thank you very, very much for joining me here. I really, really appreciate it. Something has gone wrong with the chat. It's and my old iPad. It's frozen. So I don't know if I don't know if you're speaking to me or not. I'm sorry about that. But thank you very, very much for being here. I will continue with this tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'd like to wish you a very happy Star Wars Day for the remainder of your Star Wars Day. And until tomorrow, take care of yourselves and make lots of music. And don't piss pants about. See you later. Bye-bye.